All right, guys, welcome to this module two of the training. And today I am going to well, actually it's Mike. Mike is here, and he will discuss with you guys how do you underwrite hotels and doing a like a deeper analysis.
What's up, everybody? Hope you've been enjoying the courses so far. Module 1 was a breeze, and so will this one. With this information, guys, you're going to be dangerous. So today we're going to talk about how you can where you basically get the numbers of the hotel. And he talked about the ADR, RevPAR, and occupancy. Once you have that, you guys are dangerous. But now we're going to talk about where you get those from. And what else you need to consider to determine whether this hotel is worth buying or not. And how do you find a good deal?
The
And
good in a deal.
oh, find the good. Okay, yes, the good. Not the bad. The good in the deal. And when do you walk away? All right, let's go. So, wanted to talk to you earlier about the occupancy, the average daily rate (ADR) and the RevPAR, revenue per available room. Now we're going to talk about where those numbers came from. And it's pretty simple. In the hotel industry, they have what they call a star report. Um, a lot of places like apartments, they have a comp set where they go out and you check the MLS or these different LoopNet, and they'll show you all the different values. But here, the star report has everything you want. It'll show all the comparable properties, hotels in the area, and I'll share with you what their average daily rate, what their RevPAR, and what their occupancy is, as well as their market penetration or the index, how much of the market that they have, right? And then the second place you can get it without even having it is the good old profit and loss statement, which the seller will need to provide to you if you're going to acquire it. Next big thing is not only having that, the numbers and everything, you need to know what the demand drivers are, where they're coming from. And demand drivers are where the hotel revenue comes from, or what they can pull their hotel revenue from, where they pull their market share from. And that's simple. Business travelers. People is traveling all the time. They need a place to stay. They go in a hotel. You got multiple conventions. I don't care. Religious conventions, boat conventions, wedding conventions, business conventions. You name it, there's a convention. Well, I won't talk about that convention, but there's a lot of conventions that you go to. Also, big employers, big offices, like we're in Cincinnati, so we have Kroger's, we have Procter and Gamble, we have quite a few other companies, and people travel all over the world to come to Cincinnati or wherever to visit these companies, and they need a place to stay. Theme parks, people are traveling. Destination areas, uh, Kings Island or Cedar Park, those are big parks in our area, but, Disneyland, big theme parks. People travel all over the area for those, and those are great drivers as well, especially if you're like in Florida, California, where people come, kind of out of the peak seasons, right? Casinos are great as well, but you notice a lot of casinos, especially Vegas, they have their own hotels. But that's changed a lot now. You locally probably have your own casino, but they may not have a hotel. And but the main reason casinos like hotels, they want to keep their client close to them so they can come back and continue to spend more money. And so what they do is they buy them a room. All right, they literally buy their clients rooms to stay longer so they can spend more money. All right, sports stadiums. I mean, think about it. Whenever you got the Bengals, well, maybe not the Bengals. Okay, all right, the Kansas City Chiefs, right? When the Kansas City Chiefs, as I was out there the other day, Kansas City Chiefs, the Royals, Green Bay Packers. Whenever they play, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100,000 people come into town, whether they local or far away, to come see the game. And you know what? They buy hotel rooms. So, hey, sports stadiums, And now I'll go into the next one, but hospital and universities are great. And I'll talk about that a little bit here. But those are great demand drivers, and that's what they are. And that's what you need to keep your hotel. And how do you know if you have a good demand driver? Well, there's diversity. And diversity means stable, high occupancy, because let's say we were going to go to Tupelo, Mississippi to do it. I think that's where Elvis was born, quite frankly. I think so. Might be. I don't know if you're an Elvis fan. What are the blue red shoes? Is it blue or red? Whatever. All right. Maybe not old enough for that. But anyway, I think the big plant was like Ford or Toyota. Toyota was a big factory there. And if they would have laid people off, whoa, where's your demand drivers going to come from? Now you're depending on people visiting Elvis. I know Elvis is not dead for some people, but he resides in Vegas, not in Tupelo, Mississippi. Okay, so the more demand drivers, the more diverse you have, the better you are on maintaining your occupancy. But great demand drivers are hospitals and education. Those are quite frankly, people like them because they're recession proof. Um, in every recession, matter of fact, the last great recession, I know a lot of ladies that were mortgage brokers. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Because the mortgage brokerage thing got regulated, they left that industry, went back to school, and got a nursing degree. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they were like, I don't want to go through this ever again. Because nursing is recession proof. People are always getting older, they're always getting sick, and they want to get well, and people always want to educate themselves. Quite frankly, you wouldn't be on here if you didn't want to educate yourself. My point.
That's right. And then that's why you bought the hotel in Columbus, right?
Yeah, we bought that one in Columbus because it was very diverse. It was near the university. It was near hospitals. We were near stadiums. And a big thing, Ohio State, go Buckeyes. I love when the Buckeyes are playing. You know why? Because my hotel weekends are sold out. Matter of fact, there was another group downtown. I'll never forget. Holiday Inn and Staybridge down there. He sells out every weekend. He sells the weekend. He sells it about Friday and Saturday. He does it Friday and Saturday only. You have to buy 2 days. And I don't know, it's like $500-600 for the weekend.
Wow.
And he's like,
for 2 days.
2 days.
That's crazy.
And he's like, man, I make all my money from the football game. He's like, I could close up if I wanted to. Right. But yeah. So hey.
So if the Bengals becomes a great team, then you'll buy hotels in Cincinnati.
I doubt it. Because there's even the best quarterbacks leave. Joe Burrow, think about it. That's all I'm saying. Hey, okay. Maybe stay at LSU. I don't know. All right, let's go. Okay, we are. Other things to consider is the overall profit. I mean, look, once you get to like, okay, you can do this, you can do that, now you need to look at the overall profit. That's resale value. What can you sell it for? Minus your acquisition, minus the PIP/renovation, your other costs, soft costs, plus the actual cash that you made. That's going to determine your profit. And that's kind of your formula for your IRR. Somebody saw that earlier in a spreadsheet. That's your internal rate of return. We won't even look at the deal if we can't get upwards of 30% internal rate of return. That's us. Then also there's the overall return, cash on cash, your overall profit divided by the acquisition, PIP, and other costs. And that actually is the formula of your equity multiplier. So when you hear people like 2x, 3x, and you'll hear Grant Cardone 10x it, that's what they're talking about. Your overall profit divided by your total cost. And as I said, we aim for a 30% return without the cumulative cash flow. Now we're talking about overall deals, for the period of time we're going to hold. All right. How to find the good in a deal. How to find the good in a deal. Just like there's some good in everyone, even how bad it may look. There is good in the deal. You just have to find it. And so one of the things is you got to look for the opportunities where you can add value. It's like everything. That's why you're here today, because I'm adding value, and we want to add value. And so in your deals, you want to find things that add value. Now, opportunities are disguised as problems. Sometimes you'll see something that's got the low occupancy, low RevPAR, low ADR, low MPI, which is market penetration index. Market, did I say that?
Yeah.
Okay. You got high operating costs, food and beverage costs. When you see them low, yes, it's a problem. Matter of fact, here's a perfect example. Right now, we have the coronavirus going on right now, and the market is coming down low. Now, although it's not a great time for people getting sick, it's never is, but prices are getting slashed down behind them. The stock market is down. The what is it? Not the airlines, but the cruise ships. The stock market's down. Their customer base is going down, but they're never going anywhere. Look, and as a matter of fact, I heard people. This is the craziest thing. They was like, "Oh my gosh, you shouldn't buy the stock market now." I'm like, "Why not?" Because it's so low. I'm like, well, when is the right time to buy? When it's real high? Come on, people. Look, it's the coronavirus. You know, we went through the whooping cough. We went through the bird flu. We went through all these different things. Look, we're going to be all right. It's going to be a short period. It'll correct itself. Look, don't catch the coronavirus, but do go drink your Corona. Okay? Get your Corona, put a lime in it. All right? Limes are better than lemons. All right. So how do you turn those problems? How do you turn them problems into a profit? Some of that low occupancy, the low market penetration, low ADR, it just comes from poor marketing. And the solution is just do better marketing, run better promotions. In the Courtyard deal we did in Columbus, the marketing, the revenue was down, the occupancy was down, the ADR down. All we did was aggressive marketing. We called people. We went after. We did that guerrilla marketing. We went door to door selling. Look, our revenue, our occupancy, our ADR went up by 5%. All right, 5%. You know, we're actually leading in the market, and we didn't even get into the renovations, the comp set. You know, somebody's, renovating the rooms and amenities because they're not up to par. It's just like apartments. If your apartments are not up to date, you get a certain rent. But if you go ahead and renovate them, you can charge more because your amenities, your package looks better. So you can get more rent. It's the same thing for hotels. You fix them up, you do the PIP, you'll get more rent, you'll get more ADR, you'll get more occupancy. Your occupancy will increase.
Yeah, Mike, on your hotel in Columbus, you increased the revenue by 5%. What's the impact of that? Like some people might be thinking 5% is like very low, but what's the impact of that?
Well, I think we're going to go in here. We'll explain more because, that's a perfect segue into this.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you have high operating expenses, right? So not only is it low, right? The gross income is low, but your expenses are high. And so what happens is you decreased all these repairs or capital expenditures, meaning repairing a roof because it keeps leaking. So you keep doing maintenance, or you got multiple plumbing leaks. You replace all that stacks. So you want to continue doing that maintenance, or you do an energy audit for the efficiencies. So what happens, you get this compressed thing as you were talking, you increase your revenue and decrease your cost. Next thing you know, you got a savings of 5%. And you'll be like, whoa, 5%, that's so marginal. Like, what is that doing? Well, look, you're grossing $4 million, right? And you save 5%. What's that?
200,000.
That's $200,000. But look, that's 200,000 you add into your profit margin. And let's say we value that at an 8 cap. You just created $2.5 million in additional value. So 5% is huge. All right. Next, how to turn your problems is you got low restaurant income from your food and beverage, right? Now in the hotel industry, you'll hear more food and beverage than restaurants. But some of the things you can do is change your staff. When things aren't working, change and change your management. Increase your marketing. Another big thing is what's the deal we're looking at in Kansas is we have an existing restaurant there that we lease to, but we're responsible for the meeting and banquet space. We're actually going to outsource our 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 cost, our management to the restaurant. They're going to handle all the banquet, all the restaurant, all the room service. All goes through the restaurant. Reduces our cost by another 100 to 200,000.
Wow, because you're removing the staff.
We're removed. Yeah, we're not managing the staff.
Then you don't have the supplies.
We don't have the supplies. We don't have the time, the labor. We don't have to have a food and beverage manager. I mean, the food and beverage manager alone is going to be 40 to 75,000. So you reduce all those costs. Just add another 200,000. I already told you 200,000. 8 cap, another 2.5 million. Bam, 5 million. I'm doing my dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, okay. All right.
Change the restaurant franchise.
And also you can change the concept. Now, a lot of times in the restaurant business, you always see like, man, why are they always changing the menu? BW3s did this. Excuse me. I'm so upset. They took the Cajun wedges with cheese, right? Because they felt it was better. But my point is, they changed the concept, they changed the style, they build it, and that could also the concept bring in more revenue, okay, and reduce costs. Other things you could do, maybe in the area you were at, you had a lower end brand, like an economy brand, like let's say a Motel 6 or Days Inn or Quality Inn, and but the whole neighborhood changed, right? It's a better neighborhood change. So now you go to a Courtyard Hilton, and now you renovate it, and now you can charge more. You get a higher ADR, you get a higher occupancy, your income is better, your NOI is better, and the clientele is quite frankly better. Okay. Another way you can add value is getting a liquor license. I mean, with a liquor license, you can add another 50 to 300,000 to the good minimum.
Wow.
That's a lot of money. Now, if you get into a full service like the W or like Marriott Courtyard where everybody's hanging around the bar, you know, those numbers are ridiculous. But just putting a basic bar serving at a certain time, I mean, you can increase your income by 100 to 300,000.
And that's net profit or revenue?
Sometimes that's net profit.
Wow.
That's net profit
That's
a lot
crazy.
of time. Yeah. There's other sources of income you can add. I mean, you offer vendor machines, right? You got certain vendor machines there. You charge for internet, although that's kind of not too many people do it, but they charge it. They upsell you with a different version of internet. You can add a little store to it. But something's really big that add a lot of value is reducing your property tax exposure. In hotels, there's a couple of things to do. One, the quickest and easiest thing is if the value is already low on the auditor site, right, or based on what they tax us, you can do what they call an entity transfer. So now, even though let's say the property is valued at 10 million and you were buying it at 15 million, well, you do an entity transfer and you save yourself on paying $5 million in additional taxes, right? Because you're paying that 10. Another option is what we did is so when you buy a hotel, you can divide it up because it's actually a business and actual property, real estate property. And so we devised it as so much money went to buying the content of the hotel and so much went to actually acquiring the property. So in this particular case, we said we bought, 4 million, we bought the hotel for about 4.5 million, and then we bought the content for 3 million. So we're all in for 7, but they valued it at 4 million. Therefore, we reduced our cost by $3 million, tax exposure by $3 million value. And here in Cincinnati, and I know you West Coast New York guys, you probably pay 1% in taxes, but here we pay 3%. So 3% on $1 million saves 30,000. So 30 times 3, that's 90. So we had almost, because we had an odd number, it was like 3.5 million, we say. So we saved, over 100 grand in tax exposure, and you divide 100 by an 8 cap, what's that? 1.2 million. So I just showed you 3 simple things that can add almost 5 million, 6 million,
6.25 million.
Yeah, $6.25 million in value by doing some simple things. Now you see why I like doing big deals. A simple push of the button.
Yep, it's like driving a car.
Yeah, right. Quit driving the bicycle. Get off the bicycle, unless you're on vacation. Okay. And then even on vacation, do the motorized electric bike. All right. I like living easy. But when do you walk away? Simply walk away when there's not enough demand drivers. There are not enough jobs. Mm-hmm. Or as I told in Tupelo, Mississippi, they laid people off. So walk away. It's not worth it. There's other deals out here. Another time is when they're not going to renew the franchise. Typically, we like to least have a 10-year, but we haven't done one unless we can get 15 years. That's where, a special consideration, we may do it if we think the area is going somewhere, but we typically only want 15 years. But as a matter of fact, there was a deal we walked away in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. It was a DoubleTree. And man, we were going to destroy it there. I mean, they were at 60% occupancy. We knew we could get it to 75%. We knew we could push the increase our ADR by another $20 a night. I mean, we were going to create that was going to be like a 5X deal. Wow. We were going to crush it. And I think we're going to buy the building for anywhere from 11 to 13 million. And the brand said, hey, we're not going to renew that license. And so we walked away because I was like, now this building we wasn't even worth 8 million or 6 million to us anymore. It was worthless to me. Now there's something you could have did with that, but we'll talk about that another time. But another reason to walk away is you have infrastructure change. They did the roads, the highways, the direct traffic that was coming to your hotel, it stops. That's kind of the plus and minus, right? So like, I keep reference Columbus, that was the most recent deal we did. They had the same issue. For 2-3 years, they were changing the infrastructure all around. And now, although it was beneficial to the hotel when it was done, because they had easier access to the hotel, but they lost revenue. The occupancy dropped, the ADR dropped. And you know what? That's why I jumped in, because I knew that was ending. And I knew immediately that we'd have better access. And so we could drive traffic straight to our hotel and increase revenue. So utilize that, but you don't want to buy in the middle, because if you buy in the middle of construction, your costs will be reduced. And, if you were able to start renovating right away, because when you renovate, your costs may adjust, right? Because some floors will be offline, so you can't sell rooms. So it may work out, but look, there's easier things to do, or just go bang your head against the wall a couple of times, okay? It'll be much cheaper than buying it like that. All right. Another reason we won't do it is we're not able to compete with the new build, meaning we don't think we can obtain our market share. We don't think we can get in and increase occupancy to ADR because we either feel that with that additional hotel is too competitive or it fluctuates. For example, New Jersey was another place in New Jersey we were looking at buying a Courtyard, and it was an okay deal, but we felt we could do something with it. But we knew, as I showed you earlier, we could increase and reduce costs by 5%. Do that compression. At least create $3 to $5 million in value right away. But we found out a Hampton Inn was being built right around the corner. It was like, whoa, we know that a lot of Hampton Inns, these limited service brands, they could take a lot of market share. So we walked away. It wasn't worth it. And the last but not least is it doesn't hit your basic threshold. It doesn't hit your market. Whether you just want to make 10%, 15, 20, 30%, if it don't hit your number, it don't hit the number, and walk away. There are other deals. I don't care how pretty and how shiny the lights are. Walk away. Just don't walk into the light. All right. Okay. Hey, man, thanks a lot. It's been nice spending time with you. I may join in on the next module, but I think Wendell's going to take over for the hotel. No, probably me. But anyway, talk to you soon. All right. Bye.